Reducing sodium intake. Sodium, an essential mineral found in salt, plays a vital role in maintaining fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle contraction within the body. However, excessive sodium intake has been linked to a host of adverse health effects, particularly concerning cardiovascular health. High sodium consumption is a well-established risk factor for hypertension, heart disease, stroke, and other cardiovascular complications. In this video, we drill into the profound impact of reducing sodium intake on heart health, uncovering strategies for minimizing sodium consumption, and promoting cardiovascular wellness. Understanding sodium and heart health. Sodium is a crucial electrolyte that regulates fluid balance and blood pressure within the body. It is found naturally in many foods, such as vegetables, dairy products, and seafood, as well as added to processed foods and restaurant meals in the form of table salt or sodium-containing additives. While sodium is necessary for various physiological functions, excessive sodium intake can lead to hypertension, or high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease. High blood pressure forces the heart to work harder to pump blood throughout the body, increasing the risk of heart attack, stroke, heart failure, and other cardiovascular complications. The link between sodium intake and blood pressure has been extensively studied, with research consistently demonstrating that reducing sodium consumption can lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of cardiovascular events. Benefits of reducing sodium intake for heart health. Lowering blood pressure. Reducing sodium intake is one of the most effective strategies for lowering blood pressure and promoting cardiovascular health. Excess sodium in the diet causes the body to retain water, leading to increased blood volume and elevated blood pressure. By reducing sodium consumption, blood volume decreases, and blood pressure levels normalize, reducing strain on the heart and blood vessels. Preventing hypertension. Chronic high blood pressure, or hypertension, is a leading risk factor for heart disease, stroke, and other cardiovascular disorders. Studies have shown that individuals who consume high levels of sodium are at increased risk of developing hypertension compared to those with lower sodium intake. By adopting a low-sodium diet, individuals can significantly reduce their risk of hypertension and its associated complications. Improving cardiovascular function. Reducing sodium intake can improve overall cardiovascular function by reducing the workload on the heart and blood vessels. Lower blood pressure levels decrease the risk of heart attack, stroke, and heart failure, while also improving blood flow to vital organs and tissues. By promoting optimal cardiovascular function, a low-sodium diet supports long-term heart health and reduces the risk of cardiovascular events. Enhancing endothelial function. Endothelial dysfunction, or impairment of the inner lining of blood vessels, is a hallmark of cardiovascular disease and a precursor to atherosclerosis, or the buildup of plaque within the arteries. High sodium intake has been shown to impair endothelial function and promote inflammation and oxidative stress within the blood vessels. By reducing sodium consumption, endothelial function improves, leading to better vascular health and reduced risk of atherosclerosis and related complications. Lowering risk of stroke. Stroke is a leading cause of disability and death worldwide, with hypertension being a major risk factor for stroke. High sodium intake is associated with an increased risk of stroke, particularly ischemic stroke, which occurs when a blood clot blocks a blood vessel in the brain. By lowering blood pressure through sodium reduction, individuals can significantly reduce their risk of stroke and its devastating consequences. Strategies for reducing sodium intake. Read food labels. One of the most effective ways to reduce sodium intake is to read food labels carefully and choose lower sodium options whenever possible. Pay attention to the sodium content per serving and opt for products labeled low sodium, reduced sodium, or no added salt. Be mindful of hidden sources of sodium in processed foods, condiments, and sauces, and choose fresh, whole foods whenever feasible. Cook at home. Preparing meals at home allows you to have better control over the ingredients and sodium content of your food. Use fresh herbs, spices, and citrus juices to season dishes instead of relying on salt. Experiment with flavorful ingredients such as garlic, onions, ginger, and vinegar to enhance the taste of your meals without adding extra sodium. Limit processed foods. Processed and packaged foods are often high in sodium due to added salt and sodium-containing additives. Limit your intake of processed meats, canned soups, frozen meals, snack foods, and condiments, which can contribute significantly to daily sodium intake. Choose whole, unprocessed foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and legumes whenever possible. Be mindful when dining out. Restaurants and fast food establishments tend to use excessive salt and sodium-containing ingredients in their dishes to enhance flavor and preserve freshness. When dining out, opt for dishes that are grilled, steamed, or baked rather than fried or heavily sauced. Ask for sauces and dressings on the side, and request that your meal be prepared without added salt or MSG. Gradually reduce sodium intake. Transitioning to a low-sodium diet can be challenging, especially if you're accustomed to consuming high levels of salt. Start by gradually reducing the amount of salt you add to your meals and snacks, and gradually acclimate your taste buds to less salty flavors. Over time, your palate will adjust, and you'll find that you enjoy the natural flavors of foods without the need for excessive salt. Reducing sodium intake is a simple yet powerful strategy for improving heart health and reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease. By lowering blood pressure, preventing hypertension, improving cardiovascular function, enhancing endothelial function, and lowering the risk of stroke, a low-sodium diet offers numerous benefits for cardiovascular wellness. By adopting mindful eating habits, cooking at home, limiting processed foods, and gradually reducing sodium intake, individuals can protect their heart health and enjoy a longer, healthier life free from the burden of cardiovascular disease. If you received value from this video, please like and subscribe to the channel.